Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for another Microsoft 365 Community Conference sponsor webinar series. I'm Ella Fernandez, head of the connections here at Betechly. Joining us today is our sponsor, Plumsail. Today's session focuses on the automating business documents with Copilot agents in SharePoint. But before we start, I just wanted to share a few reminders. To join the live Q&A, you'll need to register for the webinar. If you haven't registered yet, simply scan the QR code on your screen or visit betechly.com, select today's session, and enter your business email address. Once you're registered, our team will add you to the calendar invite, which includes a link to join the Q&A chat at the end of the session. Please note that the Q&A will not be live streamed. If you haven't secured your pass for the Microsoft 365 Community Conference happening April 21st to 23rd in Orlando, now's the time. Standard discounted pricing and soon, so simply scan the QR code to register, which will show on your screen right now, or visit nextgen365events.com and use the discount code S150 to save $150 on your registration. Apply for the Microsoft 365 Community Grant Program by scanning the QR code on your screen or visit change3e.com/grants. That's grants. This is built for small businesses and nonprofits to accelerate your AI journey with hands-on learning, expert guidance, and financial support to attend M365Con 26. And of course, please like, subscribe, and follow both Betechly and the Microsoft 365 Community Conference. And with that, let's get started and enjoy today's learning experience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Katrina. Thank you for joining, and thank you to Ella for a great introduction. And so let's start on our live session today. As Ella mentioned, we'll be automating business documents with Copilot agents in SharePoint. And just a few words about me. So I work at Plumsail. I'm automation specialist, and I help people daily to figure out what's the best way that they can automate their document generation and other workflows within their Microsoft 365 and SharePoint ecosystems. As Plumsail builds tools that work exactly to do that. So they automate documents, create web forms. We also have org chart that works directly in SharePoint and Microsoft Teams, and a ticketing system that also lives directly in your SharePoint. We have over 8,000 customers worldwide, and we have pretty good ratings. So if you're looking for something to enhance your workflows within Microsoft 365, let us know. We'll be happy to connect, but we'll get to that at the end of the session. Let's look at the agenda. So as we mentioned, we'll be building Copilot agents. We'll be building two separate ones. They will be quite different, though both targeted at document creation. First, we'll explore how to create an agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is a more simple agent for straightforward tasks. In our case, again, it would be document generation. And we also will look at how to build an agent in Copilot Studio, which is great for building more complex workflows, as it offers a lot more sophisticated capabilities and flexibility for those tasks. So let's jump right into to Microsoft 365 Copilot, and we'll start our session here. Just a quick note, as I mentioned, so there's two separate agents, and the first one will be building an m365.cloud.microsoft. So this agent, so this Copilot, and you can create the agent here with just a regular license for Microsoft. So just go to this website, log in with your Microsoft credentials, and you're ready to go. The Copilot Studio is available with a separate license. You can ask your admin, or just see how it works with the licensing at Microsoft. So here we are on the main page where you can start a new chat and just chat with Copilot as you would. But we are focused on agents. So let's click right here on all agents. And there are a few agents that are already pre-built by Microsoft, and they were designed for specific jobs, such as, let's see, we can see all of them. And we have an analyst agent, we have a researcher. You can also do a brainstorming session with an agent, learning coach. So there's quite a few of them that you can already use. There are also some featured agents here, and we have some agents that were pre-built by third parties. So if you use any of these software, you can use with us on Monday.com, etc. But let's see how we can create our own agent. For this, we'll click on New Agent right here. And it takes us to configuration. You can also click on Describe right here. And this way, Copilot will help you create the Copilot agent. You'll just need to give it all the instructions, what the agent needs to do, what its role going to be, what exact parameters and instruction it needs to follow. But in my experience, the configuration tab is a little easier to start with, and then you can go and maybe refine it with Copilot. So you can also use the templates that's offered by Microsoft, and we have the name, the description. Description is great to let your teammates know what the agent can do. Then we have the instruction tab, knowledge, and capabilities. But let's look at a more tangible example at the agent that we specifically built for this demo. Our agent is going to be memo generator. To see how it's built, let's click on Edit. And again, we are in the configuration tab where we have everything filled out. So this agent will be targeted at creating new memos that can be sent to the whole company announcing a new employee. So right here we have generates company-wide memo about new employees. You can add more information if you need. Then probably the most important part, the instructions, as you want to be as precise and detailed as possible, as you also probably will need to refine and add details quite a few times. Don't be discouraged if it's not producing the result that you want from the first test. In my experience, it takes a few iterations, a few refining sessions with the agent to make sure that it works as you need it to work. But once you have that set up, you don't need to come back and refine it unless you wanted to maybe give a few different other instructions. So let's see, we have goal here, which is to generate a new docx document based on the provided template. So the template that we will be using, let's scroll a little bit down here. We uploaded it in the knowledge source. So let's click on it and see the memo. So here we have the memo document, and we have our company name. We have from who to who, the whole company. And in the employee title, we added a token where the data will come from that prompt that the user will ask agent to generate the document from. Then we also have in comments, we added a couple of more tokens. So we have meet new employee. So here will be the name of the new employee. Joining the team, so we'll also insert which department the person will be joining, and their scope, so what job they will be doing in the company. And also we have some fixed data saying here that join us on the 3rd floor for snacks, beverages, as we welcome the newest addition to our team. And also we have a token for date. So all of these tokens will be replaced by our agent with the data that will be prompted by a user. So let's go back to this screen here. And in the knowledge, you can also use documents from your SharePoint that are stored in your SharePoint, your Teams, or maybe documents that are stored in Outlook. You can upload it from your device, like I did with this company memo. You can also allow it to search the web. You can also specify to use only the sources provided. And you can also activate the referencing org chart and profile information. So we're done on this section. Let's look at capabilities, which is important for our agent because we would like for it to generate documents for us. But if you would want to use this agent more for as a bot that you can, for example, upload the HR manual right here in the knowledge source and give it instructions to answer employee questions referencing only that manual, then you don't really need the document generation. But we activated it. Our template is in Word format, but you can also use templates in Excel or PowerPoint. And this is, by the way, quick foreshadowing, this will be a distinction between this and what we're going to build in Copilot Studio. So as you can see, this agent is pretty simple and a bit limited on its functions, but if you need something quick and easy to automate, this is a great way to start and get yourself familiarized with how you can create those assistants that can help you in Teams, as in this case. And it can also create images for you. And finally, you can suggest some prompts for the users to look what they can ask the agent. But let's go back to the instructions and see what we added here. So as we covered, we asked it to generate a document based on the template. We also asked it to replace tokens with real data, and we specified which tokens we have. So again, it's data, new employee, job title, the new employee scope, and department. We also specified that the tokens are wrapped in double curly brackets or braces, and we are asking it to always replace all tokens. And also not to add any other data, use just the data provided by the prompt. Next, we are also letting it know what data will be provided by the users. So in the job title, we'll have job title and the token. What's going to be in the new employee? So it's going to be full name. In the department name, the scope, everyday responsibilities, and date is today's date of the memo. Next, we're giving it instructions on what to do if the user is not providing all the data. So for example, if they forgot department name or they forgot the scope, the job responsibilities, the agent will come back and ask for the data to make sure that it fills out the document correctly. Next, we're adding the rule to preserve template formatting. So we're using Word file, and we're asking it to remain in that format. We're asking it to not alter any styles, font sizes, alignment, boldness. Also, token replacement rules. So we're asking it to replace all the tokens. If tokens repeat, replace all occurrences in the document, like we have with our new employee. And then we have, again, the specifying the token. So we double down to make sure the agent knows what it needs to do. And finally, we have the output where we are specifying how the name should look. So in this case, we have new memo and adding the date, and we're specifying also the format of the file. And finally, we also added some best practices to always validate all tokens, to not leave any tokens in the document, and to keep original alignment and boldness for the headers and totals. So that's for the setting up the agent. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Initially, it took me maybe like 10 minutes to set up. I used the template from the template bank inside Microsoft, so you can use your own that you have. And as we looked here, you can also do so with Excel and PowerPoint. But now let's see how this agent actually works. So we click back on Memo Generator, and it opens the new tab, and we can see we have a couple of prompts here already. So we're asking it for the new employee name, Susan Bright. The title is Director, Department HR, and we have some description, what she will be doing. So as you can see, the agent generated the document. We have the new memo, and let's click and see what the final document looks like. And great, so we have all the information is filled out. Where we had the token for the job title, we have now director. We are having we have the name Susan Bright joining HR team, as well as her job description, what she will be helping with. And we have our today's date, March 17th. So as you can see, this is a great way to automate those small tasks that your employees or your teammates are spending time on. All you need to do is just enter a prompt and the document will be generated. And of course, going to the specific site to access the Copilot is a little bit not very convenient. So you can also use these agents inside your teams. Your teams is always open. So all you need to do is click on Copilot here. And here we have the memo generator. And you can also add more. You can again click on all agents and you'll see all the pre-built by Microsoft. So the more agents here, so you can customize your agents within the teams as well. So let's close it for now. And now we can move to Copilot Studio, which is going to be a little bit more complex. And the use case there will involve a few more steps. So we'll move to Copilot Studio. To build agents here, you'll need to follow copilotstudio.microsoft.com. And as I mentioned earlier, this will require a separate license. So let's see. So we have the agent that we'll be exploring right here, but you can also create agents by using the Copilot here. So again, you can describe what you would like it to do, what are the direct instructions, and it will help you create that agent. And you can also use, or you can also create the workflow. Our agent that we created actually uses a workflow as well. But before we jump into seeing what's behind the scenes of this agent and how we built it, let's look at the use case that we are going to be tackling during this demo. So for this agent, we'll be living inside our SharePoint. And this is a great way to utilize all the data, all the information that you have inside your SharePoint and automate the document creation right there using the Copilot agents. Right here, I have a simple invoicing site that we will be using for this demo, but it could be anything else. Again, it could be your HR documents, it could be contracts, it could be quotes. So you can apply this demo and this use case to other documents as well. So here we have a little announcement that now you can use SharePoint agents to generate invoices. We also have the documents library that I added here as a web part where we can see all the latest invoices that were generated with our Copilot agent. And here I have a nifty button that will call specifically this agent when we click on it. So you don't have to go to the toolbar and look for, well, this one already has our agent, but usually it would start from a regular Copilot, and then you have to go and look for the specific agent there. So this will eliminate the manual work because, again, as I mentioned earlier, we face daily that the clients, the customers come to us that a lot of times they still fill out documents manually, so they have to go to separate lists, separate sites, and have to find specific data, format the document, and then finally, save it to the document library or maybe like send it by email. And with this use case, you can automate all of these action steps, and the employee would only need to just do a quick prompt and the document will be generated, saved, and sent by email. And so let's see how it is working on our side. So all I need to do is specify jump too quick. I wanted to show the knowledge sources that the agent will be using. So we have the customers list right here, where we have customer names, addresses, phone, and email. So this will be using for the billing part of the invoice. And we also have products here, which I styled to celebrate the SharePoint 25th anniversary. So we have some merchandise as t-shirts, mugs, totes, stickers, hoodies. So a few products. Again, this is for demo. Of course, you could be using your own real data. And so these are the knowledge sources that the agent will be using. So let's go back and click on the agent. And we'll ask it, please generate an invoice for one of the customers. We have the Riverstone Finance Group, and we'll ask it to include 10 mugs, 10 notebooks, and 5 tote bags. Okay, that's it. So as you can see, all I need to specify the customer and the products that we'd like to have on the invoice. And now we're gonna wait maybe a few seconds for it to generate the document as it goes through through all the customers, through the products, identifies the data that it needs to include, and then we'll look behind the scenes how it's working and how we built it. Let me see if there are any comments, any questions so far while our agent is thinking. I don't see any questions, but we can tackle them at the end of the session. Oh, send failed. Interesting. Let's click or try again. Oh, there we go. Oh, I attempted to retrieve the product details from your product list, but they're not found. Huh, that's interesting. So this, sometimes with Copilot agents, maybe I should go back to the instructions and specify a few more details and refine that the instructions for the agent. But let's ask it, what products can you find in the list? Let's see what we'll come back with. Might take a second, but while it's thinking, we can go and look at the document that we just generated like 2 hours ago when I was testing. But again, with this technology, it's sometimes it takes a few refinement processes to make sure that it works correctly. But this would be the invoice that would be generated. So we have the customer. In this case, it's Blue Pine Technology. We have the address, their contact phone, and the email, as well as the invoice number, and we have the products. So we have 25 mugs, notebooks, and this is a dynamic table, by the way, used in this invoice template, and we'll look at it shortly how it was set up. But let's see if we got anything from oh, there we go. Okay, so sometimes it's not, it needs a little bit of nudging and ask what products it can see. So let's see. The document, yeah, looks great. We're asking it for the invoice for the Riverstone Finance Group, and that's the information that we got here. And these are all the products that's in our SharePoint list. So great, and it was saved right here about a minute ago. We have a new invoice saved here. But now let's see behind the scenes, how we built the agent, how the document is generated. Let's go back to the Copilot Studio, and we can click on Agents. And here we have our invoice generator. We can click on it. And let's close the testing parts and just concentrate on the main details. So as similar to the Microsoft 365 agent, the regular one, we have the name, we have the description, so you can locate and see what this agent can do for you. Then you can also specify the agent's model. So I chose ChatGPT, GPT-5, but you can also use Anthropic. Next, we have some analytics here. So the conversion sessions a bit down. Somebody needs to use the agent more often. We have the engagement rates, and you can open analytics in this tab and review all of that. But again, let's look at the important part, the instructions. So as we saw earlier, I might need to go back and refine it a bit more to make sure that it finds all the products. But let's see. So we have the first instruction is to generate invoice by starting the invoice tool, which will be located here, and we'll look at it shortly. And these are all those steps to generate the invoice, to send the link, to save it to a SharePoint library. Next, we're asking it to make the data input in JSON. This is because our document template receives data in JSON format. So here we have the products, we have title, quantity, amount. So these are, let's look at quickly at the document generated. So this would be the product name, the quantity, and the amount. So we can get that data into the document. And then we have the invoice number, date, company name. So all the tokens that we have in our template are specified here, and we gave it the schema in JSON to make sure that the data is entered correctly. Next, we're giving it more instructions. We're asking it to replace values from SharePoint lists. Always take products from products list and company information from customers list. Search by all columns in both lists. Search products by name, brand, category, manufacturer, and model. Those are all the fields that we have in our SharePoint list. Then we're asking it also to calculate amount as product price multiplied by its quantity, and add it as a JSON to JSON S string. We are asking it to never skip fields. All data must be provided. Also, if the date is missing, use the current date when the invoice is generated. And for the invoice number, we can add the date, company, and 3 random letters and numbers to make sure that it's a unique name and number. And once invoice is ready, share a link in the chat. And that's what we saw that happened on the front end. Next, let's look at knowledge source. So as we saw in the M365 Copilot agent, it could only use the documents like a Word document or Excel to use as a knowledge source. With Copilot agents, you can use dynamic data like the SharePoint lists, as we are using here, the products and customers. But let's see what other knowledge sources that we can use. So there's Dataverse, Dynamic 365, Salesforce, and you can also upload your files here. And we have multiple sources that agent analyzes, looks at the instructions, and takes only that data. Next, we have the tools. So this is a flow that we're going to look at shortly. Next, we have triggers. Ours is our flow, and our agent is triggered when it receives a new prompt from a user. You can also connect your agent with other agents, so it can be a little bit more complex solution. You can also add a few topics here and suggested prompts for your users. This can be done as well. But now let's look at the invoice, the demo flow. So we can go into tools, and here you will have all the tools available that you've pre-built for this agent, for different agents. So this is the invoice demo. It's in flow, so you can access it here as well. Let's see. Yeah, great. So we have some overview. Here we have some fun stats of how much time has been saved for our imaginary invoicing department. So 2 hours, but of course it will give you specific data for a real use case. We also see the connections referenced here. So we have our SharePoint side, and we have Plumsail documents, which we are using to generate the invoice. Then we can see the co-owners who built the agent. And in the details, we also have the description, status, etc. Also in the last 28-day history, so we have the runs. They were all successful, so that's great. You can also turn it off if you're no longer needed, or if you want to make some changes. But let's look at the designer part, where we have all the actions that make this agent work. As you can see, it's very similar to Power Automate. And if you're familiar with and you've built flows in Power Automate, this is going to be a very easy transition as it uses the same logic. The tool looks very similar. So the first we have when an agent calls the flow. So our agent uses the flow to respond to the query. The input is in JSON, as we specified in our instructions as well. Next, we are asking to parse the JSON to be input in the document in the correct format. And then we have the start document generation process. So this action takes care of actually producing our invoice document. Where this is a product built by Plumsail. If you're using other software for document generation, you can replace it in this step, but this is our product. We are very proud of it, and it's a powerful tool. We're going to look at it shortly, what it can do and what type of documents you can generate. So we selected the invoice template. We're going to take a look at the template as well. And we're using the template data that's the body from the parse JSON action. Next, we have a create file. So this creates the file inside the SharePoint document library, and we're specifying the folder path. So this is the invoice library that we saw earlier in SharePoint. Then we also asking it to include the file name, and the file content comes from the Plumsail documents action. Next, we are added the create sharing link for a file or a folder. So this is where our agent gave us the link. So as you can see, this is the shareable link that it responded back in the chat. And finally, we're asking the agent to respond in the chat as we saw. So this is for the flow builder or designer, as it's called here. As you can see, it's pretty simple one. We're just building a product, or building a document, but maybe you can adapt it to do maybe some other document generation, or you can get inspired to use it for other tedious tasks that you can just delegate to the agent. So we can look at our template now for the invoice. So here we are in our Plumsail account, and this is where you can either use a template that we provide or use your own template. We styled this one, by the way, again, in SharePoint 25 anniversary style. And we have the tokens here that are pretty similar to the document that we saw in our first demo. But important note, where it differs from that simple template in Microsoft 365 Copilot that we used. Our document templating engine is smarter, and it can handle such things as the dynamic tables, as we can see here. So in the template, we have just one row of the template, and we have the nested tokens here that will be populated automatically with all the items from the SharePoint list. We also have a sum here, so it sums up all the product totals. So we ask the agent to calculate the amount per line, per product, but the templating engine itself calculating the total for the invoice. These templates also can handle charts. It can handle like bullet lists, hide and show certain blocks of text, or in Excel, certain Excel blocks. And again, here we're using the Word template, but you can also use Excel, PowerPoint, fillable PDF, or you can generate a document from an HTML template. In the settings, you can also specify that the output file can be in the PDF format. You can also add watermark, protect your documents, and you also have the built-in deliveries. So for this use case, we added an Outlook delivery to keep everything within the Microsoft ecosystem. So not only is our document saved in the SharePoint library, it is also sent by email. Here we included, so you can use the email from your template. So in this case, it will be the email, the customer's email. And we also added a static email, which could be, for example, accounting. a person from accounting department. Then in the subject, you can also use the same tokens that you have in your document, and also the body of the email will have the ability to include tokens here as well, and the generated document will be automatically attached to this email. There are quite a few more deliveries that you can choose from. They are all built in. All you will need to do is just log in into your account. So for example, you can log in into your Gmail, Dropbox, Google Drive, or you can send emails for e-signature like DocuSign, Sign Now, so Microsoft Teams as well. So here you will be able to add more flexibility to where the document goes. So that's how you can build agents that can work in Microsoft Teams and in SharePoint, generate different complexity of documents from something more simple like we saw with the memo to a more advanced document like with the invoicing. You can do the same with presentations. Basically any document that you need to generate from your data inside SharePoint, you can apply this use case to. So that's it for my part, from the active demo part where we saw how to structure and how to build this. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them, or we can maybe see something else within the Copilot Studio or the Microsoft 365. So Ella, I'm giving the word to you to transition to our Q&A session.
Oh my gosh, Katrina, that is such a wonderful, fantastic, and insightful demonstration. So thank you very much for that. So to everyone watching on the live stream, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be wrapping up the stream shortly. Don't forget to secure your spot at the Microsoft 365 Community Conference happening April 21st to 23rd in Orlando to rub elbows with Katrina. So now's the time to register. Standard discounted pricing and soon. So scan the QR code on your screen right now to register for the conference, or visit nextgen365events.com. Use the discount code S150 to save $150 on your registration. Apply for the Microsoft 365 Community Grant Program by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting change3e.com/grants. Built for small businesses, nonprofits, this will help you accelerate your AI journey with hands-on learning, expert guidance, and financial support to attend Microsoft 365 Community Conference. If you'd like to participate in the live Q&A with Katrina, please be sure that you joined using the link in your calendar invite. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
And with that, let's